been a while since I've been able to get out with the native. I guess with the world getting back to a little normal with as far as COVID goes. My job, I do a lot of traveling for sales, and for a long time I was not traveling as much. I've been on the road quite a bit more. I've had a few tournaments I've been practicing for, and just haven't been able to get out. So I looked on the Wisconsin DNR site, found this little 40-acre lake about 20 minutes from my house. It says largemouth are common and panfish common. So we're going to get out and see what we can do. You can see there's quite a few lily pads along the edge. So I've got a frog tied on, see if we can't have a little topwater fun. So let's get out on the water and see what we can find. Well guys, I haven't really talked a whole lot about the kayak because I haven't used it that much. But I do like, there's a lot of features about this thing that are really nice. One of them is what I just did, just the ease to deploy the drive system. That just drops down, locks on 2 points up front. I like that a lot. And I can really get moving in this thing. So I fished a tournament last weekend and we fished a frog, so I've got one tied on. So we'll throw one out in these pads and see what happens. We might try a buzz bait later on too if we don't raise anything on this frog. Sometimes they're way back in these pads, sometimes they're out on the edge. You just got to kind of work around a little bit to see if you can figure out kind of where they're holding. And hopefully with that back camera it's high enough that you can see that these pads have some spaces in between them. So I like walking that frog along, and I'll let it sit on a pad and then I'll hop it off and just kind of play along. Play around with it. It's kind of a cool bite. Mostly because it's so visual, but you know, we'll try out here on the edge a little bit with this. The key is to find out where the bluegills are. If you can figure out where the bluegills are, that's where the bass will be, as they'll be up feeding on those gills. And you can also see it's a little overcast today, so that's not necessarily going to push the bass up under the pads, but we'll see. We'll just see what happens here. A lot of times too, what you'll one of the keys to telling you where the bluegills are at, if you listen close, you'll hear them popping on top of the water, and they're coming up and eating bugs, and you can hear them kind of. If you hear a lot of that going on, that's usually a good thing, because that's a good sign of life. So I've never fished here before, but the DNR website said largemouth are common, so that's pretty much one step away from being abundant. So we'll see what we got here. We'll work these pads a little bit. We'll try out a little deeper with maybe a wacky worm or something. So the water temperature is 74 degrees, so it's definitely summertime. Definitely summertime. Not a ton of contour to this lake, it's just kind of a bowl. And this frog doesn't necessarily always have to be fished in the thick stuff either. Like we're in 4.5 feet of water here, but I see some weeds floating out here, so you can kind of walk it a little bit. And some frogs walk better than others. Sixth Sense makes a frog that walks amazing. It's almost like walking a spook. This is a Z-Man frog, and I kind of like it because it's got a little bit smaller profile than most frogs. And I think that helps sometimes with the bite. And I also think sometimes they get it better. Because if you guys frog fish, you know that's one of the downsides to frog fishing. You miss quite a few fish. The key is to let them take it. Too many guys want to set the hook as soon as they see the fish swing at it. Sometimes it's best, even if you have to if you can't visually help it, sometimes if you just count to 1 or 2. But a lot of times you can see them take it right off the top. So back to the kayak, I've been really happy with it. I think if you guys watched my earlier videos, I talked about that originally. I kind of wanted to get a 10.5 footer, but I got such a good deal on this kayak that I ended up with the 12.5. I will tell you, it's what I thought. I knew I was going to have to deal with it a little bit, but it's pretty heavy.
This looks like a job for me, spinach.
So if you're worried about weight, you're leaning towards the 10.5 because of that. I haven't used a 10.5, but I'll tell you, the 12.5 is definitely heavy, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. It's not easiest for me to get in the truck, but it's doable. You sit the butt end of the kayak up on the tailgate, then I hop up on the tailgate and just pull it up in. So it's definitely doable. So I really like the drive in it. It's pretty nice. I see that some guys have put risers in. I'm 6'3". I don't know what that would do. Maybe it just gets you up a little bit higher so you can see. Maybe it's more of that than it is necessarily pedal angle. But I'm 6'3". I fit in here nice. I'm comfortable. I can sit in here. I think the last time I went fishing, I was in it for 6 or 7 hours, and I got out. My back was just fine. You can see it's got nice rod storage here. There's one here, so if you catch a fish, you can put it there and work on your bait. And then there's 2 rod holders built into the kayak on the back for, oh, I got into the cabbage here pretty good. I will say the drive system, if you take your time, you can get through some pretty thick stuff. It's got 2 rod holders in the back, which are really nice. If you're looking for a pair of braided scissors, these Kudas, they're like $4 or $5, I think. They're awesome. They cut braid like butter. The blades are serrated, so they grab the braid, and I mean, they're awesome. Highly recommend. Been fishing years trying to find a good pair of braided scissors. These are awesome. I see some bluegills shooting off the bottom out here, back and forth. Maybe while we're tying up, we'll go ahead and get a wacky worm tied on. Tied on the spinning rod I brought. I didn't bring a ton of rods today. We got storms coming in, so I figured less was more today. Less was better. All right, I think we got a hair jig tied on here from last week messing around. I think we're gonna go ahead and put this rod back here. So for a wacky worm, I like using these VMC, kind of an Aberdeen shaped hook. I just tie a quick Palomar knot in it. I've got 10-pound braid on this spinning rod to 8-pound Invisex. Let's try a Kalen's. This is some new stuff I've been trying too, guys. Bait fuel. I think you probably saw, oh, I can't remember who, but there's been a few guys on YouTube broke the silence on this. I just started using it about a month ago. I'm not a big attractant guy because I don't like the mess and all that smell, and it just crap gets all over the boat and all that. This stuff has 0 smell, and it doesn't stain or have any color. It's just a clear gel. And I'm starting to believe in it that it really does make a difference. All right, I'll throw this buzzbait a little bit. I got a feeling we'll probably have our best luck with that wacky worm, but I like throwing some of this stuff a little bit. Buzzbait's kind of a cool bite. You can throw it slow like that. I don't throw buzzbaits much with skirts anymore, guys. I throw them with the buzz frog on there, like that. I just think the fish gets it. They bite it better. They don't seem to miss it as much, and it comes through stuff nice and easy too. So, oh. I need to put some new braid on here. This stuff is getting, I don't have enough on here. I'm just cutting it down. The spool gets going way too quick. So you can see, you can bring that buzzbait right down right down the edges of this stuff. What's cool about it too is, what's nice about it is you can vary the speed. I can bring that down like that. I can twitch my rod and give it a little splash like that, just to give it a little more, you know, attraction. Then I can slow it back down. Just a lot of different things you can do with it. Ooh, there was a bite up in there. Maybe I need to put that frog back on. And there's a few fish over here. That was probably a bass. There's a fish. Oh boy. I think we got into a pike, boys. Guarantee you that's not a bass. Yeah, boy. Oh, it is a bass. There we go, guys. Wow. Nice one. I'm starting to learn that I should probably carry a net in here too. Oh, it was barely hooked. Oh, that's a nice one, guys. All spawned out. Flat belly on that. Probably what, 15, 16 inches? It's a nice one. All right, there's fish in here, guys and gals. Rock and roll. Oh, that felt good though. Put one on the board. Nice one too. So guys, when I'm throwing this wacky worm, I'm kind of looking along the edges of these lily pads. And I'm kind of, I don't know if I can explain it right, but I'm looking for kind of just little edges, like points that the lily pads make, and that's where I'm throwing in those pockets and around there. Just because I figure those fish are using that to, as a little bit of an ambush. And I'm also throwing at more isolated lily pads. Like if there's a pocket of them right out here, there's probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them laying there. I'm just throwing it in there. I got a feeling they're buried in these pads, and they just, for whatever reason, they're not too interested in coming up and hitting stuff today. All right, just heard a bluegill pop. This looks pretty good up here if you can see it over my left shoulder. That's where I'm gonna throw is about 11 o'clock. See that there's just a bunch of isolated little lily pads up there, kind of on their own. And I just want to hit that in that pocket a little bit. Be nice to get one more for the old camera for you guys. I gotta keep my ears open for thunder. Pretty good thunderstorms coming across like Minneapolis when I looked this morning. But according to the weather guy, I say that tongue in cheek. According to him, it looked like they were gonna kind of break up and run out of juice by the time they got here, but you never know. You just want to be safe. Last place you want to be is out here on the water in a bad thunderstorm, that's for sure. That's not a bluegill. Feels like another good one, guys. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Guys, there's some bass in here. Holy smokes. That's a nice one. Oh man. You know, and did he eat it? Holy cow. Wow, that's a nice one. Look at that one, guys. Whew. Right in the top of the mouth. Yeah, just like I said, should be dynamite. 4 or 5 feet of weeds clumps. Look at that one. Man, that's a nice one, huh? All right, let's get him back. Yeah, that's more like it. Well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap that up. I've got some dark clouds behind us, and like I said, I looked earlier today, and there were some pretty good thunderstorms coming. I really don't want to get caught out in those. I'd say for a couple hours, that was fun. We got a couple of nice fish, and kayak's floating back out here. Caught a couple of really nice largemouth. That one actually looked like it was kind of pre-spawn and really flat belly on it. I think we'll definitely come back here. Like I said, it's close to home, which is really nice. It's better than a 2-hour drive. So, well, that wraps it up for today. Again, a couple of really nice fish on a brand new pond, and that's what the idea of this native kayak was for me. So tune in next time. Maybe we'll be back here. Maybe we'll find another new spot. Thanks for watching. Well, guys, we got out the water just in the nick of time. It's kind of hard to see through the windshield, but it's coming down in sheets out there. Just got packed up and got in the truck. Now we're gonna have a piece of leftover cold pizza, a diet root beer, and enjoy the 20-minute ride home. Catch you guys next time.